Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video, which is going to be on the brand new Pat McGrath Decadence number 5 eyeshadow palette. We are going to be unboxing this, swatching it, and also applying it to the eyes so that you can see how it performs. So without any further delay, let's get started. I bought my palette on launch from the Pat McGrath website. I have purchased from her website in the past without any trouble. Shipping is always very secure and also pretty fast. Even with the free option, I have never paid for any expedited shipping. My order was placed on September 7th and I received it to my home in Chicago on September 13th. Pat McGrath always goes all out on the artwork for the outer packaging of her palettes, and this one is no different. It's absolutely beautiful. It has this image of a woman and there are a couple of flies nearby, which sounds gross, but somehow on this it looks elegant. At the very top it gives you the name of the palette, and the specific one is Bronze Seduction, and you do have 13.2 grams of total product in the palette. On the back side, the packaging indicates an 18-month shelf life. This palette was made in Italy, and each of the 10 shades have their own individual formula with the ingredients listed on the back. When you open up the box, you have the typical card that she has used in the past, which indicate the different shade names. And here we have the beautiful eyeshadow palette in the typical packaging with her logo embossed on the front, a gold plating in the background, and actually this one is labeled Mothership V on a clear sticker that was placed there, which I know was one of the criticisms that she had for the previous palettes, that if you possessed all of them, there was really no way to tell from the outer packaging which palette you were looking at, so this one is now labeled. The palette does retail for $125, however I paid $112 with 50 cents because when I purchased it at the time of launch, she had a promotion going on her website, which you could use the code SEDUCTION for 10% off, and so I saved $12.50. The palette is going to be available on Sephora.com on September 14th, which is tomorrow, so you will be able to purchase the palette from Sephora on the day you're watching this video. Now, ordinarily, I would have preferred to purchase from Sephora, especially now that they've revamped their point system and they have that $100 gift card option that you can do if you're Rouge. I would have waited, but I was just too excited and too impatient. I have all of Pat McGrath's palettes, and I knew I had to have this one as well. When you open up the palette, you have the typical beveled mirror, which is so beautiful, and here are your shades. There are 10 shades as there are in her other eyeshadow palettes, and this one has a couple of differences that I really like when comparing it to the other palettes. So let's go ahead and swatch the palette. The first shade is Skin Show Divine Glow, and this one is a cross between a satin and a metallic finish. Then we have Entrapment, which is a matte formula. Next we have Bronze Blaze, and this one is metallic. We have Rose Gold 005, and this is one of her special shades. Then we have VR Fire Opal, which has a beautiful greenish shift. After that, Extreme Aubergine, which is a matte. Guilty Pleasure is a metallic. Disobedient is a matte. Blitz Flame is a cross between a metallic and a satin. And then lastly, we have Astral Luna Gold. Now, upon swatching, I could tell that this was going to be the Pat McGrath formula that I know and love. The mattes were really creamy and really smooth, and then the metallic swatched beautifully. I did notice that this shade right here, which is Bronze Blaze, it actually feels a little bit gritty to the touch, but when you swatch it, it swatches beautifully. And then the others on the very end over here, those are her special shades. They are unique to Pat McGrath. I have never found any formula similar to those. I would say that the closest thing has been in the Linda Hallberg palettes, which I think one of them is even discontinued at this point, but it's just a beautiful palette, beautiful color story, and I just could not wait to put it on my eyes. You guys will have to give me a break today because I literally came running home from work. I took off my makeup and I put this on my eyes. I could not wait. I've been so excited about it. One thing in particular that I really appreciated about this palette in comparison to her other Motherships 1, 2, and 3 is that this time she did not include a matte black. She included a beautiful matte aubergine color, and it's really nice to have a little variation in the event that you have her other palettes because you don't need 3 matte blacks in the same formula. So I think it's really nice that she changed it up a little bit. I also really like that she has these neutral tones in varying degrees of intensity because in the past, in the other palettes, there was usually 1 or 2, but they were very dark, and these two blend together really nicely. I think the showstopper shade for sure is going to be this one, which is Blitz Flame. I think in all the palettes, this position in the eyeshadow palette has had the star of the show, in my opinion. But this one here, this Rose Gold 005, is also beautiful, beautiful shade, and it's what I'm using in the center of my eye. Now for the $125 question, do I think that this eyeshadow palette is worth it? In my opinion, I do think that it's worth it. I've been collecting Pat McGrath palettes. I have all of her palettes so far, and so I knew I was gonna have this one. My friend Kat and I did a video in which we ranked all of the Pat McGrath palettes, starting from our least favorite to our most favorite, and we gave reasons why. So I will link that up in the cards if you want to check that out. And I'm just trying to think of where I would position this one. But I have to say, because it has some warmer tones and also because of the variation in color, this one is a contender for the top of my list at least. Let me know how you feel about it. I think it's just beautiful. I didn't go too crazy in my eye look today. I just wanted to do a brief demo so that you can see how the shadows perform. I used, I think, about 4 brushes to create the eye look, and it was a very simple application. So let's go ahead and get into the demo so you can check it out. I started this look by using a MAC 242 brush, and I applied the shade Blitz Flame all over the lid. The first layer I applied dry, and now I'm using a damp brush. You can see how much the metallic nature of the eyeshadow is enhanced when I use my brush wet. I'm using a little bit of my Inglot setting spray to dampen my brush. I'm going to use the shade Skin Show Divine Glow to highlight my brows. And I'm using a Goss 07 brush. Next, I'm using a Sephora Beauty brush. This is the Smoky Eye brush, and it's the medium-sized one. And I'm just going to blend out the first shade. Next, we're going to take the shade Extreme Aubergine on a Goss 05 brush. And I'm going to place this along the lower lash line. I am going to bring it up in a slight wing shape, and I'm going to run it across my top lashes just to give me a little more definition in that area. And that's also where I will apply my falsies. Now I'm just going to blend that out with the Sephora brush. Now, because my eyes are hooded, I'm going to use just a little bit of my Too Faced glitter glue in the center of the eye where I'm going to apply that highlight. Just want to create a sticky base for the shade Rose Gold 005. Once I have that down, I'm going to blend some more and re-intensify the lash line as well. I'm going to add a little bit of Astro Luna Gold, and I'm just going to tap it on top. And to finish off the look, I'm going to do the inner corner with this is Skin Show Divine Nude. I'm using a Goss 07 brush. This is the look without any liner or lashes. I'm going to apply black liner to my upper and lower waterline and some falsies, and I will be right back. You probably noticed I was wearing something different during the demo. I was actually wearing like a purple dress, and when I finished the eye look, I tried on like 20 different lipsticks, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't quite like it until I realized it was just the whole look was clashing with the dress. So I have changed clothes and I feel a lot better. I did finally settle on Kat Von D's Lolita 2. So that's everything for the video. Let me know what you thought about the palette and how it seems to perform, and I would love to know if you're interested in picking this up, and also which one of her eyeshadow palettes is your favorite so far. Stay tuned because I am definitely going to buy Natasha Denona's Safari palette. I'm very excited for that one as well. I think between Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona, those are my 2 favorite eyeshadow formulas at the moment. Just don't ask me to pick. I don't think I could. It's very hard for me to say because I think if you consider the price that you're paying, you're getting more from the Natasha Denona palettes because you have a lot more shadows. Here you only have 10, but there's honestly nothing like these shades right here on the end of all her palettes really, except for the number 4, which was all metallic. These shades are amazing and really, really unique. So I would recommend picking up one of the larger palettes even over the smaller ones, despite the fact that those are more affordable, because those special shades are only present in the larger palettes. That's everything for today's video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, as I would love to see you again on a future video. Thank you again. I hope you're having a lovely one, and I will see you again in a day or two on my next one. Bye-bye.